Hey everybody, it's just little old me. If you guys didn't know, they had uh, three of my eight channels shut down last week. They're just now getting them opened back up. It was all the same video. I just put it on three different channels, and the first one was a medical misinformation. It got taken down for medical misinformation, which was this channel right here. It was the first one taken down. But the other two, they were called community guideline strikes. So they couldn't make up their mind whether I was giving medical misinformation or community guidelines, breaking community guidelines. So they just shut three of them down. Uh, the other two ought to be opened back up either tomorrow or the next day, but I'm not really worried about it. I've got more channels, so. But this channel, um, it's started picking up on views and subs coming in and everything, and I'd like to keep that up. Uh, I don't even ask people to like, share, and subscribe because it really don't matter. YouTube's not going to let you do it anyway. But I wish I had 1,000 subs so that I could at least go live and do some live stuff. I used to like to do that and be able to answer questions if people had them and talk to the people at the same time instead of just a one-sided conversation like I always do. But if I could get, that's what I'd like to have is just I don't care to have any more than 1,000, just enough to be able to go live. My back's hurting me today, folks, so I'm trying to straighten it up. But I want to show you guys a couple of things too. And if you go to watachisbarn.com, you can buy these designs on just about anything you want. And I want to show you, this is one of my old ones. But Watachi needs the money, so you need to get to that Watachi barn and buy my designs. You got to do it. This is one of my first ones. I made this one up. I think at the beginning of this year, and it is Morons 2021 was a channel I started, and this was what I made for the word morons. And that's what America is today, folks. America is a bunch of mindless ogres relying on non existing saviors to save them. Because Trump ain't going to save you. Biden's ain't going, Bush's ain't going, Obama's ain't going to save you. Ain't nobody going to save you but you. You are the only one that's going to be able to stop this. And that means all of us. This is, let me see, this is, and I want you to really look at this, folks, if you're going to understand why I made it. If you don't understand that, get a hold of me through Watachi. It's Watachi1 at gmail.com. And I'll explain it to you if you ain't figured it out. This was my newest one, and you can probably still see the pencil drawings in it. Let's see. Gotta get it all in there. And that's a fact, folks. Constitutional republic, not democratic republic. There's two different things. And if you don't know what they are, how are you ever going to fix it? Now let's talk about this democracy again. Because you people are still fighting for your own enslavement and you don't get it. I don't get it, I mean. Let's just talk about one thing. Why do you think the two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, chose the colors red and blue. Out of all the colors they could choose, why do you think they chose red and blue? Anybody? What happens when you mix red and blue together? Anybody? You get purple. Okay, now purple has meanings. Red has meaning. Blue has meaning as well, but red has a meaning of power. You mix red and blue together, folks, you get purple. Purple has a few meanings. Purple is something that is talked about in the Bible. The color purple. Most of the time, it's talking about a wealthy person, a king, somebody in powerful positions would wear purple. Some even say they draped purple over Jesus when they were beating him and shit. And because he said he claimed to be the King of Kings. So they draped purple on him. Another meaning is evil. Purple stands for evil, sadness, or frustration even. The purple color comes in. So, with red and blue, since how they're both two sides of the same coin, two feathers of the same bird, two scales on the same fish, because of that, you mix those two colors together, you get purple, which tells you who's really in control. Not even those two, not those two colors, not those two sides, not the right and the left, not the Republicans and the Democrats. No. They're the two colors you mix together to show you who's really in control. You mix those two colors together, you get the wealthy. That's not your millionaires, folks. That's the people right now and today that are trillionaires. They're not even billionaires. They used to be billionaires wanting to be trillionaires. Today they are trillionaires because of what's happened in the last couple of years. Make no mistake about that. So, you mix the two party colors together, you get purple, which means wealthy. And then the other one is evil, sadness, and frustration. Well, that I see that means the wealthy's going to dish out evil, sadness, and frustration on everybody below them. The wealthy wants everyone below them to owe them, to worship them. And who are they worshiping? Let's talk about this Speaker of the House. What is she, 127 now? They can dye her hair, but come on. A person's that's brain dead shows it. Just look at your president. Now, with Pelosi, when your president was doing his State of the Union address, you got Pelosi sitting over his left shoulder because she's third in line for the presidency. And you got old Kamala sitting over his right shoulder because she's second in line for the presidency. These two are back there just loving it because they know Clown's out of his mind. He'll be lucky to make it through the next year. He'll be lucky to make it through. He'll probably, who knows? He could lose his mind tomorrow and not remember even what America is. He probably already has. So you got these two women, these two clown bitches. One of them's 130. She's a day. The other one's, she couldn't be more evil. And they're sitting behind him. Pelosi, I know she had to do what, about 13 Long Island iced teas before this damn speech that your president gave. She's sitting back there rubbing her hands together like a little kid. Oh, she just wants to jump up and, he's so great. She's just rubbing her hands together, but are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That's the third in line for president. If anything happens to the brain dead moron that's sitting in that position, she's the third in line. And then I look over his right shoulder and I see that dumbass woman. And you wonder why America has went to shit. Come on. Pelosi said on nationwide TV, worldwide TV, she sat and looked at the camera straight on like she's looking in your eyes. And she said, government spending, people, it don't get added to the national debt. Government spending, everything the government spends comes off the national debt. Oh, yeah? If that was true, then they owe us several $1 trillion. Because they're spending like it's free. If everything the government spends, this is what this damn 130-year-old woman sitting behind your president, third in line, said on nationwide TV that what the government spends comes off the national debt, doesn't add to it. These are the people in control of your lives. Every one of them sons of bitches right now in D.C. are sitting there telling you, and they're passing who knows what laws, how much money, what they're doing, because they're working together now, folks. It's both the Republicans and the Democrats, and they're fucking telling us if we don't stand with Ukraine, if we don't believe we should send our kids and our money and everything else to the Ukraine, and if we don't believe we should be sticking it to Russia and wanting to pay $10 a gallon or $15 a gallon for fuel just to be able to stick it to Russia, you aren't even American patriots. If you don't want to send your kids over there to die for whatever those people are in Ukraine, and I don't know if you guys have done any research on the area whatsoever, but I'm sure you haven't if you're calling for your own kids to go over there and die for them people. So maybe you ought to do some research on what's been going on in the Ukraine for a little while and what that president has done since he's been in office. Do you know he made it illegal in the Ukraine right now? He just made it illegal to be in any kind of opposition of him and what he's trying to do. He made it illegal for that. That means you can't talk out about him. You're breaking the law. You can't say he's doing anything wrong or you're breaking the law. And you certainly can't show any facts that he's doing anything wrong or you're breaking the law. People, and that's who you're going to send your babies over there to die for? You better look into what they're teaching at the schools. Kind of sounds like old-time Germany, if you know what I mean. But don't do that. You just believe what CNN and Fox News is telling you. That's what you should do. Now, you guys all, these people been telling me, that mask thing, that shit's over. The mask shit, it's over, it's over. It's over. Well, let me tell you, folks. There's a Youngstown police officer that just last week, just 3 or 4 days ago, who was arrested and put in jail for 10 days for contempt of court. Now, this was inside a Mahoney County courthouse in Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown, Ohio. It was Mahoney County courthouse, and a Mahoney County judge told this police officer he had to wear a mask in the courtroom. The police officer showed he had medical exemptions according to the mask mandates that are no longer in place. But he showed with his medical records he had medical exemption. Judge locked his ass up for 10 days. And he's going to ask him in 10 days, you going to wear a mask in the courtroom? And if he says no, he's going to be in contempt of court again, but get another 10 days until somebody steps the fuck in and shuts down this Mahoney County bullshit court crap around here. Now, people, if you don't believe me, just 10 fucking months ago, and at the end of June through about 5 months of last year, from about February to fucking June, the same court system, Mahoney County courtroom, criminal courtroom number 2, tried to put a mask on me. Even all the way down to the day of the trial, that prosecutor tried to force the judge to put a mask on me. The judge didn't make it happen, but the judge already knew. I had my medical records in my car. Well, evidently in Mahoney County now, judges don't give a shit about medical records. That tells me that the judges in Mahoney County do what they want. They don't go by the laws. They don't go by the mandates. They just do what they want. And I think this will be more evidence of that in this county. Well, I'm keeping track of it. I'm keeping track of it. And one day it'll come to a head. Whether I'm the head of it or somebody else is. Now, we got these cops, man, now. When I moved in here, moved into Boardman Township, actually, when I moved into Hubbard, up where my son lived, about 4 years ago. I started running into the police officers that patrol the area of Boardman Township. Not anywhere else, but Boardman Township. I knew cops in Hubbard. I knew cops in Liberty. I knew cops in Struthers. I knew cops all over the Youngstown, Mahoney County area. All over. but I wasn't introduced to them till I run into a state trooper. Couple of state troopers that worked this area down here because they knew the courthouse. Cops weren't acting like this anywhere else, in any other part of Mahoney County. But they were acting that they were doing this shit down here. Well, I beat them in court with my videos. I beat them with my own videos. They were all on my main channel, folks. They didn't like me. That was from when I was living up in Hubbard. I beat them in the court with my video. Then I beat them over in Girard, Ohio. Them clowns were doing photo radars from a bridge. Cop standing up on a bridge with a radar gun, fucking just pointing at cars going by. And they got another guy taking pictures of the license plate so they can charge whoever owns that car. Not the person driving it that might have been speeding down that road, but the person who owns the car. I've known this shit to be illegal ever since they started trying to pull that shit out in Arizona, and I beat them tickets out there. Well, when my wife got a ticket for driving down the interstate over the speed limit, we all knew it was bullshit because my wife won't drive down the interstate unless we're on a long trip going across this country. She'll drive on an interstate then. But she will not drive on the interstate any other time. She will take all back roads. Well, they sent a ticket to my wife because I was driving up that interstate at faster than the speed limit. But they sent it to my wife's, in my wife's name. Illegal shit. And the thing about it was, Ohio already had a class action lawsuit that had been going on for some time, along with Indiana had the same class action lawsuit and lost on one side of them and had to pay out millions. And Pennsylvania on the other side of Ohio done lost their class action lawsuit and had to pay out millions, if not billions. And Ohio was in the middle of their class action lawsuit, and the governor told all these counties, states, or cities, townships to not be doing that shit. Well, I went in with my wife as a witness that she wasn't driving the car. I told the police department that. I went in and talked to the police chief in Girard. Said, look, man, you guys got this ticket. It's got my wife's name on it. We can prove she wasn't even in the car at the time. He goes, well, was you? I said, I'm not doing your job for you. I'm just telling you this. I was in the car, not drive. I ain't telling you I was driving it. I was in the car, but she wasn't in it. And she can prove it. She was at work at the time of this ticket. Her boss and everybody in the building will prove that. And he said, don't worry about it. Police chief, don't worry about it, man. Just pay it like a parking ticket. Ain't gonna be no points on your license. Nobody gonna tell the insurance company that you was speeding down the road at over the speed limit. Just pay it. Don't worry about it. So, won't be doing that. So when we went into court, I told the judge, my wife told the judge she was not in the car at the time. They brought a magistrate up from Chattanooga, Tennessee, clear up to Boardman Township, to Girard, Ohio, that was working these cases. And this magistrate, my wife told him, sir, I wasn't even in the car, and I have proof of that. And he was like, what was it? I said, man, yeah, and I'm here as her witness that she was not in the car, Your Honor. Your Honor, I was in the car. She was not in the car. He looks at, well, we're just going by the law here, and the law. And I said, yeah, no, the law states that you gotta pull the person over and ticket the person driving the car. It ain't the person that owns the car's responsibility if the person in the car's that's driving it, borrowed it or whatever, is breaking the law. You can't. If they went out and robbed the bank, you couldn't put the bank robbery on that person that owned the car. And I said, I'm a witness for it right here, and we got three statements from the people that she works with. That she was at work at the time, and the judge looked at me and said, "So, are you saying you was driving the car?" And I said, "Your Honor, I'm not going to do your job for you. I'm telling you, I was one of the people in the car, and she was not in it. She's got other evidence to prove from her boss and doctors, because she works in a doctor's office, stating she was not in the car because she was at work at that time." And he's saying, I'm just going by the law and this and that. And I said, well, that's fine. I said, let's go ahead and do that then. I said, you know what, though? I said, there's a class action lawsuit going on right now in Ohio. I'll just have your name added to that class action lawsuit. And he looks and he says, well, the fine's usually $100. I'm going to knock it down to 20 or 25 somewhere, 20 or 25. I said, let me ask you something, Your Honor. I said, seeing how this ticket was sent to my wife in the mail, and we all know mail gets lost, would you have been able to put a warrant out for my wife's arrest if she didn't show up for this ticket? Would you have been able to say that she was ticketed and what didn't show up in court for it and have her arrested? And that judge looked at me and said, well, we can't answer that question. I can't answer that question. I said, oh, that's awful funny. And so he said, now, if you go over there and step over to that lady over at the table and make arrangements on paying the fine or whatever, and you can be good night. I said, all right. So we started walking over that way, and as I got over there, the lady behind the table looked at me and said, listen, we couldn't have done anything if you didn't show up in court. We couldn't have done nothing about it. And I said, so you're telling me just throw them away? And she said, yeah. And I said, I'll pay that's worth $25 right now. That's worth $25. I'll pay the $25 just for that knowledge. People, it wasn't maybe a month, 2 months later, there was no more tickets being written for that shit. That damn, what was it? Not Justice of the Peace. Magistrate refused to come back up here from Chattanooga, Tennessee to work those cases. The shit stopped. Now, whether I was a part of it or all of it, I don't give a shit, but the shit stopped. Now, these cops in Boardman Township, where I live, see, I've gotten to know so many cops everywhere around here that they talk to me. They don't pull me over, folks. I don't get pulled over for tickets. I don't get pulled over because I'm speeding. I don't get pulled over because I'm reckless driving. I don't get pulled over because I'm burning my tires off. I don't get pulled over for this shit. When I talk to these cops around here, man, I've got hot flash. These guys are usually stopped somewhere. If I see them, I'll pull up next to them, wave at them, and they'll flag me over to talk to me or whatever. So I talk to these guys. And now when I first moved up here, folks, I moved into Boardman 3 years ago. I've been up here about 4 years now in this area. Moved into this, where I live now, about 3 years ago. When I first moved in here, these police department here, when I started hearing about them, when I saw them, I was recording them, flipping them off. I was calling them everything in the damn book. Because I heard a lot of shit about them. And after a few videos where they came on my property illegally and shit, this stuff's on my other channels, folks. If you want to see it, go check out my other channels. It got to the point around here, I was a discussion in every damn shift change. It got to the point around here, these cops, if I pulled over to talk to them, they were fucking told by the upper people they wanted a complete police report done on it. Because see, what they figured out is I'd pull over and talk to these cops, and they would tell me, just by reactions and stuff, because I know how to read people, they would tell me what was being talked about. And I can guarantee you. So it got to the point that they realized I was doing that, so they told these officers if I stopped and talked to them or anything with them, if I just pulled up and asked them for a time of day, they had to write a complete police report on it. And what they were trying to do, folks, is the upper end was going to use this and state that I was harassing their police officers. Once they got enough reports done, they were going to claim I was harassing their officers and charge me with it. Well, see, what they weren't counting on is the officers told me what they were doing. So I stopped fucking with them. I stopped going around so they wouldn't have to make a report. Everything kind of fell off. But I told these guys, several of them, when I first come here, I said, hey, you guys don't have body cameras and shit, because they came on my property, folks. I was recording them, but they didn't have no body cameras or nothing. And so all the other videos I did on them, I was telling them, man, hey, I'm going to see what I can do about getting you guys some body cameras. Because they didn't have any. And these guys were acting a fool. Some of them, not all of them, some of them were acting a fool. And I told them for 3 years ago, I'm going to see what I can do about getting some body cameras on you guys. Well, today, Boardman Township, Ohio, police officers have body cameras on them. And let me tell you, they're not happy. You see, they were told, oh, yeah, we're getting these body cameras. And the guys were saying, well, what the fuck? People just going to watch the videos, and if we do anything wrong, we're going to get in trouble for it. And their upper brass told them, no, we're not going to do none of that. It'll just be for the incidences that happen. We'll have cameras to prove you guys are right. Same people that told them that told me they weren't going to be masked police. Shit. And these officers believed them. The officers believed them. Well, now they don't believe them anymore. Because now all the videos are being watched thoroughly by one guy. I'm not going to tell you who that is. But he knows. And me and him's talked quite a bit. And I think, now I will tell you, I talked to him today. People, the cops around here, they're hating it. They're hating the fact now. They got cameras on. They're being watched by at least one guy in the department. And he is a higher up. And they can't hide. Now, make no mistakes. If anything major comes down and there's some kind of lawsuit that cost this township millions, billions, or trillions of dollars, you can damn sure bet those videos will come up missing. There's no doubt about that. But right now, they're fucking doing whatever they're doing with them. People, I want to get back to one more thing, or two more things before I end this. I want you people to understand something. There's a lot of old people in this country, and even disabled people that have been disabled most of their lives or all of their lives, that are living off of disability or Social Security. You're elderly. These people are on a limited budget, as it fucking is. And the government, in the last 2.5 years, destroyed the economy of this country. Not only that, now they're fucking with the rest of it. The oil, the electricity. They're going to fucking jack everything up so fucking high. These people ain't going to be able to pay their bills. On top of all this shit, folks, these motherfuckers are talking about signing over authority of your power grid in America, I believe in North America, to China. They're talking about this shit. People, the only thing I can say about it, one good thing about Ohio that's happened since I've been here, constitutional carry got passed. Less than 90 days. There won't be no more gun licenses to carry a freaking handgun to protect yourself with. Constitutional carry means you go back to the constitutional law. None of these cops are liking that shit in this state. None of them. You know what I say to that? I say you stop treating all citizens as criminals. Maybe you'll get some help out of those who ain't. But if you think taking people's rights away from them that aren't criminals is going to help you, you ain't learned how to do your job yet. You can't do your job by yourselves. No way possible. That's why you have informants. People that you let, okay, well, you're just a little peon. We'll let you go. You give us a big peon. You can't do your jobs alone. You need us as bad as we need you. So what I suggest is when we go back to the law of the land that was laid out by our forefathers, you have the citizenry on your side, not against. People, God loves you and so do I. It's just me rambling. I'm just a dumbass hillbilly that lost his cowboy hat. You guys, God loves you. So do I. I pray for you. Pray for y'all. I ask you to pray for me. And like, share, and subscribe so I can go live. Love you guys. Till the next.